So let's say we now optimized our project. We fixed all errors, we refactored the code, and we added asynchronous components. Now we got our Vue project finished up and we want to upload it onto some static host. Now we have to differentiate between two kinds of projects. If you have a very simple project, as we had it in the beginning of the course, for the Monster Killer project, for example, we really just had a couple of custom HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files. We had no project setup created with the Vue CLI or anything like that. In that case, you can just grab those files and upload them onto a server. If you have a project that's a bit more complex, like the one we've been working with over all the last modules, typically created with the Vue CLI, then you have a couple of other steps. You want to optimize your code as shown, so let's say we did that, but then you need to build your project. And this will then also automatically optimize your code even more, automatically for you without you doing anything for that. Building your code is required because the code we got here, with all those .vue files, that is not code the browser would understand. That's code which needs to be transformed into regular JavaScript code first. And the CLI created projects have a built-in script which you can execute, which will do that transformation. And only once you got that built and optimized code, only then you will have a couple of files which are generated for you, which you can then take and upload onto a server. And it's therefore this second part, this right part of this slide, I want to focus on, of course. So let's now build our project. To build your project, projects generated with the Vue CLI will have scripts you can execute. In package.json, you find all the scripts you can execute. And thus far, we always used the serve script to bring up that development server and test our application. Now we need the build script. That will do what the name implies. It builds the application and it builds it for production and optimizes it for production. And we run this script in a terminal navigated into this project folder by running npm run build. And this will now go through all our code, bundle it all into all those files we need, one big app file, and then these smaller chunk files for the async components, and it will transform the code into code the browser understands and optimize it to make it as small and efficient as possible. And once this process is finished, you will find a dist folder. And that dist folder now contains your single page, the index.html file, and then a JavaScript folder with all those code chunks with highly optimized JavaScript code, as you can tell, and a CSS folder with all the generated CSS files with the CSS rules, all minified and optimized to take up as little space as possible. And it's the content of this dist folder which you now need to put onto a static hosting server. So that's what we're going to do next.